Hey everybody, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Kylie and we are here to do a book review today on Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. Okay, so it's called Fix Her Up. It's by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey is a straight white American woman who uses she, her pronouns. The genre is a contemporary smut romance. If you don't know, contemporary is just anything that's written in like the time of today. There are cell phones, there is internet, Instagram, everything like that. It's written in the current time period. Smut is romance books that have explicit like adult sexual content like on page. Like it's not fade to black sex scenes. The sex scenes are written in the book. Okay. For diversity in this book, none. Question mark. There is like a Latina friend. So, but yeah, the main characters are white, cis, straight, and both in good mental and physical health. You may have, if you know anything about the synopsis of this book, the male character did suffer a baseball injury causing him to retire early from professional baseball, but this injury doesn't cause him any problems like in his day-to-day life. It just means that he cannot play baseball at the same level that he was playing before, so it's not like a disability or anything like that. He's fine, he's just sad. There is a content or trigger warnings for this book for abandonment and an emotionally abusive parent. Okay, so in this book we have Georgie, who is 23 years old. She works as a birthday party clown, but she has a business degree. Then the male main character is Travis. He is 28. He is an ex-professional baseball player, and right now he's just working for his best friend's house flipping company for fun, essentially, for something to do, basically. Travis's best friend is Georgie's older brother. Georgie is the youngest of three. She is the eternal baby of the family. No one takes her seriously, and she hates it. Travis is an only child who is used as a pawn in his parents' bad divorce. Georgie is a virgin, and Travis has a reputation of sleeping around and having a very large bat. So the main problems for each of the character is basically that Georgie wants to be taken seriously as a woman and treated like a woman and not a child. And Travis has a chance at a very professional job and he needs to ditch the player reputation and be more family friendly. So the solution that they come up with for this is fake dating, but the fact that she's his best friend's little sister is something that gets brought up a lot, and it's kind of a problem. He's, I don't know, scared his friends are going to beat him up or something. And so he still thinks of her as a kid because they grew up together, and unfortunately for most of the book he treats her like a kid just like everyone else does. What I liked about this book is kind of some of the things are just what I like about in every romance book. There are cute moments. There are moments when they're being sweet together. There are moments for both of them in both of the cases where the one stands up for the other one and like very passionately, and it was real good. I like it when that happened. There were quite a few romantic gestures going both ways, I guess, in this book that didn't involve using money and instead was thoughtful and doing things yourself. Like obviously the male character, he was a professional baseball player for 5 years, so like he has money, but he didn't use it. When he had romantic gestures, they were things that he thought of, and then he actually had to like do something himself, like, that was nice. I really like that. That's unfortunately the end of a list of things that I liked about this book. So what I didn't like, there was some inconsistent writing with the characters. Like I don't feel like I really know like who the author meant for Georgie to be, really. She wants to be thought of as like, like a woman, and she wants to be like mature and start her own business and things like that. But then you'll have her throw like a tub of half melted ice cream onto Travis's back when he's sleeping, like to wake him up. And it's like, whoa. Yeah. And so that was not the only instance. Like there was moments where, she'd be doing something or saying something that was like, wow, really like mature, like really, like, oh, she is grown up, and then 20 pages later, you're like, oh, like why is she doing that? That's kind of weird. And I think the author could have left out like those weird things that she, like those weird, really immature moments, and it would have been a much better book, like, because you do have the contrast of like her wanting to be a businesswoman, but then her actual job of being like a clown, like for birthday parties. So that's like showing that she's goofy, but that's like sweet. It's not like immature, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there was like inconsistencies like that with both of the characters. I just don't want to give everything away, so I'm not gonna tell you everything about it. But and then also in the writing, there was a lot of repetition when it came to like what the characters were thinking, and when you're seeing their points of view and stuff. And it was to the point where it was like, okay, like I get it, that's what he thinks of her, or that's what like that's kind of his mindset, but it was just like really kind of drilled into the reader certain like points that the author wanted to make, and it didn't need to be like that intense. Like I thought that maybe the author kind of felt like I was dumb and really spelled things out for me. Another thing that I kind of didn't like is this book is very long, like for a romance. And I understand why. I already know that there is a sequel to this that follows a different couple. And so that's why. But like for a romance that wasn't that great, like this is a long book. So there is a whole plot line involving a woman's empowerment group that really served no purpose to the main plot of the story, other than to introduce us to like a lot of side characters who we're probably going to see in other sequels to this book. And I guess that's okay, because she's going to do other books on these different characters. But for this book, like as just an individual book, it didn't really serve much of a purpose. So I didn't really like that. Also, the whole like best friend's little sister, they just couldn't get over it. Like the whole book, like the fact that that she's the friend's sister was brought up so many times. Like it was too much. Like during sex scenes, it was brought up. I don't know what else to say. Like it was unnecessary. Like why are we still talking about this? When you're being intimate with someone, you should not be thinking about anyone's brother. Like what? Oh yeah. Okay. Also, Travis was mostly a jerk. Like, even at his greatest, he was not that great. And the last thing on my list here is there was really, like, I felt like it was a problematic message about what women need to do to be taken seriously. Even, like, looking at the synopsis on the back, it says here, this is fine. Phase 1, a new framework for her business. Maybe she needs a website. Phase 2, a gut reno on her wardrobe. Phase 3, updates to her exterior. Do people still wax? Question mark. Phase 4, put herself on the market. So, like, the whole thing is suggesting that as a woman, to be taken seriously, you need to look and dress a certain way. And you also need to, like, have relationships with men, like, be in a, like, being a single woman, you can't be taken seriously. And, like, they talked about how she dressed, like, what she wore overalls and, like, things like that. Like, she works for her family's construction business. Like, what do you want? Like, and then, yeah, of course, it's like she gets made over. She goes to a fancy clothing store and buys lots of expensive form-fitting clothing, and then she is, like, hot and people are looking at her. Like, I don't know. It's just problematic to suggest that and to have people read that and think that that's correct, that you need to, you know, like, I don't need to wear skirts and have my legs waxed for people to respect my opinion or respect my business degree. The girl has a business degree from university, you know? Okay, I want to move on. Okay, the sex in this book. There were at least 4 that I can think of, but I feel like there might be 5 and I just can't remember what the last one was. But major, like, sex scenes. One of them was in public, but the rest of them were, like, mostly realistic, in beds and on couches and things. He was very dominating to her, and she seemed to like it, so that's fine. But it's not my thing personally. It's actually, like, a very big turn off for me. So it's a personal preference, I guess, but I really just didn't like it. Also, he talked a lot, and I really just wanted him to shut up. I didn't like that he talked a lot, and I didn't like the things that he was saying. But I did read just now. I was looking for what other people might have thought were content warnings on the internet, and I read a review by Mel to the Any, and she freaking loved the book, and she thought the dirty talk was amazing. So, I mean, to each their own kink, right? Then there was one other point that bothered me. I guess this is kind of like a minor spoiler, but, like, it really bothered me, so I'm just going to say it. So she was a virgin, and when they get to the point where she's losing her virginity, he just, like, does not take it slow. Let's say that. And it's from, I believe we have his point of view. Yeah, okay, I'll read this to you. Okay. He didn't mean to give such a vicious first thrust, but there was no help for it. No option to go slow when his dominant position above Georgie turned her flushed and panting. I'm skipping a few lines, but that first drive of his cock drew a scream from her throat. Then it says, but it wasn't made up entirely of pain, it was relief. He could actually feel her relief at being filled. Like, yeah, you can feel her relief. Because guess what? That freaking hurts, you jerk. It hurts. Oh. Okay, so he couldn't help himself. He just had, like, no, you can help yourself. Trust me, you can help yourself. Okay, so in summary, there's just too many cons, too many problems that I had with the book to really be able to say that I liked it. So for me to give a book 3 stars, I have to be able to say that I liked it. Like, a 3 star is a decent review. So I have to just give this book 2.5 stars. But, you know, if the negatives that I talked about don't really bother you, then go ahead, like, try it for yourself, check it out. But Fix Her Up was just not for me. I don't think it was well written. I didn't really like the male character at all. The sex wasn't for me. I'll just be moving on to the next one. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thanks. Bye.